Welcome. So my name is Jen Oldham, for those of you that don't know, and I've got my husband, Richard, here. So he's going to hide for most of the presentation, but he is going to help me with a little bit. And we're going to talk about MetaPWR, doTERRA's new line that they have just released. And I mentioned earlier, if you are currently using MetaPWR and you want to share, I'll ask for people to share experiences with what they've experienced, because I like to hear other people have going on, not just what's going on with me, because, you know, I never know what really is. I don't know what's normal for everyone. Okay, so now we got to go back to the beginning. I haven't figured out, like, this isn't on a PowerPoint. This is, and maybe it is, and maybe I just haven't figured it out, but this seems to work well enough. So doTERRA has been around for almost 14 years, almost 15 years. I can't even remember, almost 15 years. This is crazy. And their foundation, of course, has been essential oils, which I have absolutely loved. And they've been like such a huge part of our lives. And I love to refer to them as complementary medicine. So it's not like you have to use oils or you have to use, traditional medicine. You can use both of them and it can work really well. And recently, they have really been putting a lot of time and effort into something that will help our metabolisms. And when I hear the word metabolism, I just think, okay, I'm getting older, my metabolism is slowing down, right? Like that's what I thought of with the metabolism. But there's so much more to your metabolism, and it directly affects so much of how your body feels, so much of how you're aging, so many things. And so I really was excited to learn more and more as they launched this new product. They also gave Richard and I a chance to try it out for about 30 days before it came out at convention. And it was fun to see some of the things that it did. So while I'm doing this presentation, I want you to think about your goals. And I love these questions that are on here, or these statements. Do you control your metabolism, or does your metabolism control you? We're going to talk about why we would need a metabolic awakening, and the relationship between health span, biological aging, and metabolic health. So, and I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there's lifespan, how long we're expected to live or how long we live. And then there's health span. That's how long we're going to be healthy for. And so we're going to talk about how to close the gap on those two things. And then the tools to slow biological aging and put more life into your years. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next slide. What is preventing you from living your most powerful life? So for some of you, it might be the fact that you don't sleep well, and that can affect so much, or brain fog, or feeling stressed, or weight management, mood, energy. It was interesting. I went to a functional medicine doctor yesterday because I do have some health goals that I'm working on. And one of them is to conquer Epstein-Barr virus. I have chronic Epstein-Barr virus, and I like to run, hike, stay very active all the time. And I'd really like it to go away. And it's interesting how many people really preach, you got to be sleeping well and not dealing with a ton of stress, and, and what's going on with you emotionally, affects you so much. So when I heard that this line could help these things, I was all ears. I was like, tell me more. In doTERRA, they've had this wellness pyramid for several years, and these are just the things that are going to help you to be the most healthy. And what I love about this is that so many of these things are in our control. There's some things that we have no control over, but most of these things are in our control. And it's not just one thing that's going to help us to be healthy. Like, we need to be eating well, we need to be moving, we need to be sleeping, we need to be getting rid of toxins in our life. And then when we need to, we can seek healthcare, right? So we're going to now talk about what is metabolic health. So there's 5 pillars of metabolic health, and that's going to be eating, daily movement, healthy connections. So that's like relationships that you have with others, stress management, and smart supplementation. So it's interesting how many of these things directly correlate with that health pyramid that we just barely looked at. Is these things are going to be very important for being healthy metabolically. So if you were to ask people, hey, how is your metabolic health? I'm always interested to hear answers, but the truth is only 6.8% of the US has optimal cardiometabolic health. And that is so sad. And again, a lot of that is in our control and some of it is not. You know, there is genetics that play a role. There's, you know, environment that you're in can definitely play a role. It's not always just eating right and, you know, exercising and reducing toxic load. There are other things that are outside of our control. And so that's what I love about MetaPWR is it makes me, who likes to be in control, feel like I have a little bit more control. So I love this statement that metabolic health and biological age are inseparable. So it's kind of a crazy thought to think, wow, I didn't know my metabolism had so much to do with my health. I didn't. I'm thinking I'm 40 now, it's slowing down, and it seems like it's a little bit easier to put on the LBS and be a little bit more tired and whatnot. But I didn't realize how much your metabolism affects so many things in your body. So like if you were to think about the metabolism, and you'll hear this analogy if you decide to do the course I'm going to show you. It's free, by the way, and it's awesome, and it really helps break this down. But it's like if the metabolism is the engine of your car, if it's not running well, your car is not going to run well. So you really do want to make sure that you've got a good metabolism so that your biological age or your health span can also be closer related to your lifespan. So we have a black slide here. Not sure what this is for, but we will keep going. So there is the thing that, you know, it's like once you learn about something, it's like, or once you buy a blue car, like I bought a white Kia minivan like 12 years ago and 10 years ago, and I realized that everybody had a white Kia minivan, or I bought a new SUV and I noticed that everybody had that same gray SUV. I didn't feel as important anymore. So now that I've heard about, you know, we all hear about lifespan, I've started to hear more about health span outside of just doTERRA speak. And hey, Sherry, I think we have some people in the waiting room, if you don't mind letting them in. So anyway, we're talking now about like the health span versus lifespan, and it's just something I've been hearing more and more and more, like, what's the difference between your health span and your lifespan? And for a lot of us, I think that they were talking at convention that it even can be like this 15-year gap. And that sounds horrible to me. I have a grandma who is 93 years old that's literally waiting to die. She would love to pass away. She's not able to really see anymore. She fell and broke her hip like 2 or 3 years ago. That tends to be something that runs in my family. Richard's broken his hip. My mom broke her hip. I hope I don't break my hip. But it's interesting how, if you think about it, the end of your lifespan, how long of those years were just sitting and existing. It's like, I used to always think, I want to live to be 93. I don't want to live to be 93 if I'm sitting in a nursing facility. There's someone has to take me to the bathroom. I need some dignity in my life. So health span versus lifespan. And what's the hope is that these, the MetaPWR will help bridge the gap. So aging. In my house, we have swear words that my children are obsessed with. They don't say swear words. That's my job. I do that more than I should. But they'll always say things like, so-and-so said the A word. Well, to me, the new A word is aging. And I'm like, really? Your brother's talking about aging? That's odd. But for me, the new A word is aging. I remember as a teenager, I went to a Mary Kay party and they had their time-wise line for people who are aging. And I'm like, I need the teen line, please, over here. And now I'm like, bring on the anti-aging, because I do not like aging. So about 25 is when you really start. It's like you're young, hit 25, and then you start aging. And you have something in your body called NAD that starts to drop. So by the time you're 50, that level is like half of what it was in your 20s. And your metabolic function starts to decline. And that's why a lot of people notice that maybe they're gaining a little bit more weight and just experiencing the effects of aging as time goes along. So at 25, we start to age. And some of the health obstacles that we'll start running into is maturing fat cells. I want to be more mature. I don't want my fat cells to be more mature. Having blood sugar spikes. And there is a correlation between every time your blood sugar spikes, your body ages. And that, I mean, it could be a teeny tiny little amount, but a blood sugar spike is not a healthy thing for your body. Cellular integrity and taking supplements that are not helpful can definitely be a little bit of a health obstacle for your metabolic health. So we have, I'm sure she's going to go for a run because I think everybody runs. So I'm sure this lady is getting ready to go for a run and saying, what would it feel to live your most powerful life? So I'm going to introduce the MetaPWR system. And my primary goal in this is to help educate it on it. I don't educate you on this. I don't want this to be this big sales pitch. I will show you at the end, if you haven't purchased it, how to get it, but I really just want to educate you on it. This is not a high pressure sales thing by any stretch of the imagination. We'll leave that up to the red pony over to my right. Say hi, red pony. Red horsey. Was it red horsey?
Yeah.
It was a red horsey. He's a red horsey. Okay. So first of all is, we can talk about one of the first things that can be an obstacle for our metabolic health is maturing fat cells. And we have adipose fat cells. So the sites develop, and as we get older, they get bigger and bigger. I wish they looked as pretty as these orange balloons, but when I look where I have a little extra fat in my body, I don't get the idea that it looks like these pretty orange balloons. And it seems easier for those fat cells to mature and just get bigger and bigger. So that can be something that can be really frustrating. Now, doTERRA came out with an essential oil called Slim and Sassy about, has it been like 10 years? It's been quite a while. And it was based around 5 oils. So there was cinnamon, peppermint, lemon, grapefruit, and ginger. And those were help you to feel full, help to reduce those, the maturation of the fat cells, help with curbing your cravings, and just really supporting your metabolic health. And doTERRA just renamed that oil MetaPWR. And so Meta, and then we have PWR, which stands for Personal Wellness Realized. So they've actually reformulated the Slim and Sassy blend, and it's now called the MetaPWR Metabolic Blend. And they tweaked this, the oils are the same that is in there, but they've tweaked the amounts of each oils, and they did a ton of studies to see what happened to fat cells and our metabolism and things like that when they changed the amounts of the oils. And they tried several different rounds until they felt like they really got it right. So it actually is a little bit different than the Slim and Sassy that came out about 10 yearsண்ட் Here's our blank slide. So now we're going to talk about the blood sugar spikes. And as I mentioned, blood sugar spikes age you. And they also, if you think about it, they're somewhat exhausting. It's like you might have a refined carb that really shoots your blood sugar up, and then it dips you down below where you were before that. And then it's like, man, you're tired. I went to therapy today just to work on some past trauma. And it was just interesting how exhausted I was feeling those emotions. I'm like, I just need a nap. And I'm assuming that that's how our body feels when we have a ton of sugar or, refined carbohydrates. Like we're sending our blood sugar up and then it's crashing. And it's like our body's probably like, man, it's exhausting. I just felt a lot of energy, or I felt a lot of emotion, and then I crashed. So it's hard on our bodies. And so, obviously eating a certain way can help to stop that. But sometimes I'm all about life being enjoyed, and I still am going to have treats and things like that. And so it's nice that there's something that can help me with my body not be so exhausted, after going 140 miles an hour, which is how fast I plan on running my half marathon this weekend. So you guys, if you see a blur running by, it's me or the red horsey over here. So one of the new products that they just barely released, so they renamed Slim and Sassy, MetaPWR, and they added several products to the line. And one of them is the MetaPWR Assist. And I really like this. So it's designed to be taken like 15 to 30 minutes before you're going to eat your largest meal of the day, which for a lot of people is dinner. And what it does is it just helps to decrease post-meal glucose spikes. So it helps your body. It takes longer to break down those simple carbohydrates. I cannot talk. And so it's going to help to support those healthy blood sugar responses. So you're not shooting up as high. It's like you're going to stay more level. And I've had a lot of friends who have found that by taking MetaPWR Assist, that it is helping to regulate their blood sugar. And so if they have things, chronic illnesses and things that center around blood sugar, it's been very, very helpful for them, which is really nice. So if any of you guys, I just took this 90-minute course, and I'll be honest, like I love doTERRA's convention, but there was one moment in which I was like, literally, I had flipped upside down in my seat and my head was on the floor and my feet were on the wall. I just got a little bit bored. Sometimes
Jen has an attention deficit problem.
I think it's helped me in my life, actually, Richard, but thank you. So anyway.
Attention deficit
disorder. Oh, I'm totally ADD. It was great because when my mom realized I had ADHD, they realized that several of our ancestors had it as well. And they're like, that's what that was.
We'll call it the attention deficit strength.
Strength. That's right. It's a strength. I love it. I really do think it's helped me, but I get really bored sometimes. And if something goes too long, I am like literally hanging upside down in my chair or pinching Richard the bum or something like that. I get bored. So when I found this course, I went into it very reluctantly. Reluctantly? Is that a word? Reluctant? I was reluctant, or I'm making up new words. And I watched this course and they broke down everything into 3 and 4 minute videos. That is my love language right there. I can totally do 3 and 4 minute videos, and it will help you to understand what's going on even better. So yes, Marlena says ADD is a strength. I totally think it is. I totally think it is. Not when I was 5, my kindergarten teacher didn't think it was a strength, but I think it's a strength. So anyway, these are nice little courses. So if you scan this, you can access that course and it's totally free. So here's our other blank slide. Okay. So we're talking about, we're adding on the cellular integrity. We need good, solid, healthy cells, right? Not like selling something to make money, although that can be good too, like cellular healthy cells. And really, if you want to look good, you it really does start from the inside out. Like, so if you really want like a good anti-aging product, it's got to be something that's addressing what's going on the inside of our body. I'm going to talk a little bit about collagen and how a lot of the collagens on the market currently are geared towards your skin. And that's great. That's awesome. But if we can address, and doTERRA's collagen has 9 different strains, and one of them does address that, it is going to be really good and crucial to be able to address more than just your skin with collagen. Like, can we start from the inside out? It really truly is important. Okay, so moving up. So now we're going to talk about MetaPWR Advantage, and I do want to open it up. And if you do share, pretty please with the cherry on top, keep it less than 30 seconds, because otherwise I'm going to get bored. We just want to keep it really short. Does anybody have a story that they want to share, like something they've noticed taking MetaPWR Assist? So that's the little capsule. If there's anybody that wants to comment, I don't know how many people that we had here at convention. Sherry, do you have anything that you want to share?
Well, I can't really tell if it's the assist or the advantage because I'm doing the whole system. But my results from doing the whole system is not having sugar cravings. Like last night I was eating my favorite treat and I couldn't even finish it. Like I wasn't interested, right? I took like a couple bites, done. Like I'm not interested. So not having the sugar cravings, I have not reached in the chocolate jar even one time since I started taking this, really. So that's amazing.
So you can share, you can talk a little longer than 30 seconds because I like
Oh.
you. So
Okay, so and then the other side effects for me is a really, really clear mind. I feel like somebody swept the cobwebs out, or like the wet blanket has been taken off. Just the feeling of if you've ever jumped in a really cold lake or taken a cold shower, and then you know how your mind's really clear after that. That's how my mind has been feeling all day. I've been waking up before my alarm clock, so more energy. That I would say that I felt it kick in like the third day, and then the fourth and fifth day, I was like really tired, which was confusing, right? I'm like, what is going on? So I was tired for like 3 days, but then it came back, like the energy and the clarity. So I don't know, maybe it was detoxing for a couple of days there, but I know people have varying results of,
yeah,
yeah,
we are all different. I can't talk very well.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so MetaPWR Advantage has been my favorite product so far. That's the one that I had the opportunity to sample 30 days before they released it. And at first I thought I was gagging and dying drinking it. I thought it was so gross. And now I'm totally good with it. It's totally, we're getting along just fine. But I'm going to talk about what it does. And then this is when we're going to have the red horsey over here show us what it's done for him. His nickname is really the Red Stallion. But my son was like, why are you calling him the Red Horsey? So MetaPWR Advantage is the product that I have been the most excited about. And I think it's probably going to be the most popular of the products. They all have their place. And like Sherry said, I'm also doing the assist. And it's like, well, I don't know which one is helping more or what, but I've been really happy with both of them. So I'm sure you've been able to read what the slide says, that it's good for cognitive function, makes you feel like you jumped into a cold lake, which it's like takes a minute to talk yourself into it. But once you do it, you're like, oh, that feels great. Unless you're being swept down glacially freezing water into the abyss, which some of us on here have. It's also really good to support lean muscle and connective tissue, and help skin elasticity and firmness, which, hello, I think all of us want that. I know I do. So we have a slide here that says almost everything you've been told about collagen is wrong. Well, I had to, of course, dig my feet in and not take collagen because everybody else was. And I'm like, I don't need collagen. So I don't know that I've put a lot of time and effort into researching collagen. So I've been taking extra little courses and stuff so I can learn more. And on the front of this page, I have notes about collagen. And on the back, I have times my splits for my last few races that I've done.
See your page.
Oh, you can't see my page. They can see me. I'm right here. They can see us. Okay, so we're going to talk about collagen real quick and what's so amazing. And Karen, I'm going to read your comment in just a minute because I think it's super awesome. So collagen, it's like the buzz, right? Now I know some people put it in their coffee, or some people make a drink with it, or put it in their orange juice or whatever, and it's really helpful for your body. And one thing that I've learned just using doTERRA is that quality is, just because there's one quality does not mean that everything else matches that quality. And for something to really help our body, it has to be bioavailable. And bioavailable means our body's ability to absorb whatever it is we're taking in. We don't want it to be synthetic, because our bodies definitely need to be able to absorb things for it to work. So a lot of the vitamins, supplements, oils, things like that on the marketplace, you don't know what you're really getting. And I've learned that just through doTERRA. Like, I've had the opportunity to travel with doTERRA and see some of the places they source their plants from. And, and then I go to the store and I'll smell the oils there. And I'm like, these are not the same thing. One thing is not like the other. So I've definitely learned that there's a variation of quality. And so one thing I really like about doTERRA is they've got my trust. And so when they develop something, I know that they are absolutely not going to release it unless they know that it is going to work. And so doTERRA's collagen is up to 12 times more bioavailable than what you're going to get on the market. They have 9 types of collagen. Most collagens have one, and usually, like I said, it focuses on your skin and beauty. And so that's what I'm excited about, is I'm like, hey, if I'm going to use collagen, I'm going to use the right thing. So doTERRA gets their collagen, so you'll see it here, Our collagen is sourced from sustainably harvested cold water marine fish in Italy. Everything's fancier from Italy.
We don't like the fish from Greece, only Italy.
They're like like Italian leather, Italian clothes, whatever, it's fancy. So our fish, we want them to come from Italy. So this shows you the different types of collagen that are in doTERRA's MetaPWR Advantage. And then it shows you what each type of collagen does. So being beautiful is awesome. I mean, we enjoy being beautiful, right, Rich? I mean, how can we not? But really for me, I want to feel good. So it's like bone protection, the main component of cartilage, you know, a malleable dermis and epidermis. So your skin isn't cracked and dry. That can be nice. But muscle function, that's important to me. And then cartilage, growth plates, joints, all those things. I want those things to work well. And I want to have normal brain aging. So I love all these things that the collagen that doTERRA does. I think it's amazing. And then there's some words on here I can't say. So we're now going to skip to the next slide. So we have collagen in the MetaPWR Advantage. There's also NMN. So as we talked about, at 25, your NAD levels start to decrease, and that's when we start aging. By the time you're 50, they're usually cut in half. So, and the good thing is you're not ever too far in to start reversing this stuff, which has been awesome. So, NMN can help to increase NAD in our bodies, which is so amazing. There's also the hyaluronic acid, which whenever I've gone into a facial, like sometimes they'll ask me if I want that. And I'm always like, sure, if it's going to give me more supple skin, then let's go for it. Just let's be careful about what we're making more supple on my body. There's some places that don't need that extra help. So there's a lot of things that have antioxidants, which are so important in getting rid of those free radicals in our body, which also can cause aging. I always like to tell people, think about that car that the paint has oxidized. We don't want that same oxidization. I'm making up words. Richard's not sure going on in our body. We for sure don't know that. We don't want that. And then liposomal vitamin C. Now, one thing I've liked about this is I was taking supplements that I was taking a liposomal vitamin C. The nice thing about the liposomal is that it is more absorbable by your body, but it can be expensive. Collagen can be expensive. So it's like, hey, I can get all of this in one thing, which is really nice. So Rich, tell your MetaPWR Advantage story.
Well, probably the best way of explaining it. So Emily Wright said that she doubles up on MetaPWR. So I'd been taking just one pouch and it was great. And I took 2 pouches and well, what did I tell you? Do you remember my comment?
You feel like you're on crack.
I was like, what is this? Crack cocaine? It was like,
he was hanging upside down in his seat,
actually.
No,
I mean, it definitely wasn't that crazy, but I was like, what is this stuff? And I'd never listened to any of the science or any of that. So I was pretty impressed. And it was like immediate effect on me. And I did it like 3 days in a row where I doubled up. I've since gone back to 1 because I think I only need 1 pouch, but it really was like, and the effect was really like, I felt like my brain was connected to the rest of my body, super, super clear. And I felt very energetic and happier. I was almost like, so I've never done drugs, but I was on laughing gas once. I was like, hey, I almost felt like I took
When did you take that?
When I had a little minor operation same day. We won't go into details. That's a personal question, Jen. So
I didn't know they gave you laughing for that.
Yes, they did. Anyway, so
I still don't feel bad for you. I've pushed out an 11-pound baby. You get a little, it's fine.
But on a serious note, I just feel like, so I'm back down to 1 dose. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So on 1 dose, I just feel a lot clearer. I'm less tired, and I feel like just more energy like through my body.
Yes, and that's definitely what I've noticed is I'm starting to have more energy because I do struggle with low DHEA. My adrenals are kind of shot, and I do take a supplement for that. And then I also have chronic Epstein-Barr virus. And so And this is by no means, I don't want to make claims that this is going to cure that. I am just really interested to see what this is going to help my body do, just to get in a better place, like to help support my body. So for me to have more energy is absolutely huge, because I do ask a lot of my body with what I do. And I do want to feel better and better. So I'm not exact. Okay. So I think what this slide is supposed to show, this is a pre-done slideshow from doTERRA, is just, if you're going to go in and buy collagen, NMN, NADH, liposomal vitamin C, HLA, which is the hyaluronic acid, I can't say that word right, and ceramides, you're going to spend a lot of money, right? Which is what I was saying. I love this. This has been really helpful. So they've made it, so this would be the price. It's $84.50 for a month's supply of it, for the Advantage, which has all these awesome things in it. And I mean, firsthand, I take a lot of supplements. Last year I was doing a cleanse and I was taking like, oh my gosh, like $1,000. Plug his ears, $1,000 worth of supplements a month, because my health is so important to me. And if I can help get things under control, so important. So I'm like, how heck, some of those things I was taking, I can now take off and save myself some money. And it's so important to make sure that you're taking good supplements. All supplements are not created equal, and that is for sure. So just some basics of how you would take this line. And I will tell you, I don't take all of it. And by the way, if you guys are wondering how to say this word that starts with an S, it's satiety. But there's satiety gum. Some people love it. I don't. I think it's gross, but it can be good. And I know I'm probably not supposed to get on here and say that, but I don't want anyone to feel like, okay, you have to do every single little piece of this for this to work. You need to find out what works well for your body and how it responds. I will tell you that the Metabolic Blend soft gels, the MetaPWR oil, and the MetaPWR beadlets, these three are the exact same thing. They're just in different delivery systems. So this is going to be the essential oil. Some people like to put it in their water, and that's great. I prefer to just take it in a capsule because I can put it with the rest of my supplements. Some people want to be lit. You do not need all three, but it's kind of nice to see what you like. A lot of people like gum to just help get rid of those sugar cravings in the afternoon. If you put a piece of gum in my mouth, I start to become aggressive and I'm like, this is getting to be too hard to chew. So for me, gum irritates me, but a lot of people do like it. Now, the assist is one of my favorite things. Since that I failed to mention the target, a reduction of blood sugar spike. I take 2 before dinner. I do MetaPWR Advantage. If one person can take one, I usually need 2. I don't know what it is, but I've been like that my whole life. So I typically need 2. A lot of people do great with 1. I would start with 1, see what it does for you for sure. As many of you know, doTERRA does have a vitamin line called the Lifelong Vitality. And so a lot of people like to take their soft gel with the Lifelong Vitality. Just gives you a daily routine. And I'm all about, I've heard it called hooking it to a habit or habit stacking, where if you're starting a new routine, instead of starting a new habit, you just hook it to an existing habit. So for me, I put my, I take this soft gel in with the vitamins that I take in the morning. So I'm not going to forget to take it because I already know. So now here's the part I'm going to keep super short, simple, sweet. If you're interested in this, most of you guys have a doTERRA account. So starting November 1st, you can buy all of the MetaPWR products individually. On October 1st, you can buy, there we go. You can buy the MetaPWR metabolic system. So you can buy just the system, and this will be the price that it always is it's the $179. You can get the whole system. If you're wanting to wait till November 1st and piecemeal it, you can totally do that. If you want to try everything that doTERRA released at convention, you can certainly do that, and you could get their full kit. And they actually released guac wood, which is close to Palo Santo. which is another essential oil. Spanish sage, so good. Oh my gosh, I love this oil. A new eucalyptus blend, an On Guard hand sanitizing gel. And then they've got a bar of shampoo and conditioner. You guys, I rolled my eyes so hard, like when I saw they released this, because I do not, they have their salon essentials and I love their salon essentials. They released some new shampoo and conditioner and I've hated it. It makes my hair feel dry and gross. And so when they released this bar stuff, I was like, we're going to see what happens. Oh my gosh, I love it. And it's so great because I think they said it's worth like 2 or 3 bottles. It's kind of funny and a unique thing, but I like it. And it's actually what I brought here with me on my trip. And then super mint, which is a mixture of like spearmint, bergamot mint, peppermint, several of their mints. It's great. But if you're like, I don't really need all that, you certainly don't have to get all that. You could definitely just get this system when it comes out on the 1st. I'm going to get a whole nother system because I need the advantage. Like I really have to have this in my life. The energy difference that I've noticed has been huge. So I'm like, I will buy the whole system and sample out some of these other pieces so people can try it. So now one thing I do want to tell you, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. So if you're buying MetaPWR Advantage, which is that collagen powder with the NMNs, not M&Ms, that would be cool too, but NMNs, it is $85 or $84.50 a month. However, you can add on more. So like for Richard and I do take, I take 2, he takes 1, 3 a month. So you can actually buy additional packets of it at a discounted price if you're buying 1. So they'll let you add it on for cheaper, which is awesome. So just wanted to give you that information. And one last little tidbit that I want to throw out there, and then I will open it up for questions, is that if you are somebody, and I know that there's people on here that are, most of you just product users and wanting to learn more, and that's so great. If you're a business builder that is like, hey, I want to start sharing this with my family and friends, I will be doing, I always like to keep it separate to respect those who are just users. On Monday, I have to look at I have it set up. I just have to look at the right date. On Monday, October 10th, I'm going to be doing how to grow your business with the MetaPWR line. So take note of that. So that will be October 10th at 7 p.m., which is a Monday. It's the day before I go to Greece. And do you want to know what's coming to Greece with me? The MetaPWR system and my vitamins. That's coming with me. Okay, so I want to open it up to any questions. Does anybody have any questions? And Sherry, I guess we can stop recording and then answer any questions that anybody might have.